Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We are reading from Canto 3, Chapter 8, Manifestation of Brahma from Vishnu. And currently, we are at text 27. Very beautiful verse. We have recited this. Translation.
He also acknowledged the service of the devotees and vanquished their distress by his beautiful smile. The reflection of his face, decorated with earrings, was so pleasing because it dazzled with the rays from his lips and the beauty of his nose and eyebrows. Purport: devotional service to the Lord is very much obliging to him. There are many transcendentalists in different fields of spiritual activities, but devotional service to the Lord is unique. Devotees do not ask anything from the Lord in exchange for their service. Even the most desirable liberation is refused by devotees, although offered by the Lord. Thus, the Lord becomes a kind of debtor to the devotees, and he can only try to repay the devotee's service with his ever enchanting smile. The devotees are ever satisfied by the smiling face of the Lord, and they become enlivened. And by seeing the devotees so enlivened, the Lord himself is further satisfied. So there is continuous transcendental competition between the Lord and his devotees by such reciprocation of service and acknowledgement.
Very beautiful verse. Mukhena lokarti harasmitena. Mukhena, by the gesture of the face. Loka arti hara, vanquisher of the distress of the devotee. Arti. Arti is the distress. And simply by the gesture of his face, smitena, and by smiling, the dazzling, and then the Lord acknowledged the service of the devotees. So Lord is smiling and acknowledging the service of the devotees. And vanquished their distress by his beautiful smile. So the smita of the Lord, the smiling of the Lord, is for loka arti hara, is to vanquish the distress of the devotees. And then there is this pancha, Lord's face, earrings, lips, nose, and eyebrows are very beautifully decorated. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that the devotional service to the Lord is very much obliging to him. So when the Lord performs devotional service, when a devotee performs devotional service, Lord feels extremely obliged. For example, Lord Krishna, there is a beautiful verse which says that I am so obliged to Draupadi. Why? Because in that very, very desperate situation, she chanted my names, Govinda, Damodara, Madhaveti. Agre Kurunam, Atha Pandavanam, Dushyasanena, Ritavastrakesha. Krishna, this Krishna is Draupadi, Tada Krosha Ananyanatha, and she just raised her hands, gave up entire defense, and just loudly began to cry Krishna's names. Hey Dwarkadish, hey Govinda, hey Damodar, hey Madhaveti. And Lord feels, I am so obliged to Draupadi because, so this is the gratitude feeling of the Lord. The Lord is Kritadnya and is Kritadnya Shiromani, right? So when somebody performs devotional service to the Lord feels very obliged to such a devotee. And this is the very unique qualification of devotional service. So neither the devotee want anything in exchange of devotional service. Of course, there is a stage that somebody comes to Artho, Jignasur, Artharthi, Jnani, cha Bharatarshava. But one need to cross that stage and come to the platform of pure devotional service. Otherwise, we will get what we are looking for. If you are looking for money, you will get money. If you are looking for removal of the distress, you will get removal of the distress. But this Bhavasagara, which just continues one life after another. One may be a very big king, Chakravarti Samrat in one life. Next life, one may be born as a deer or a dog, right? And then again, the same Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi will continue. Realizing this, a devotee will not ask for anything in exchange of their service, right? Prabhupada says even the most desirable liberation, devotees are not interested. They say, Kaivalyam narakayate, tridishapur akasha pushpayate. And this attitude of a devotee, the Lord becomes kind debtor to the devotees, that he can only repay the devotee's service by his ever-enhancing smile. Devotees are ever satisfied by seeing the smiling face of the Lord. Why devotees are performing devotional service? The hard work that devotee puts in devotional service is just for the satisfaction and the pleasure of the Lord, just for the smile of the Supreme Lord. And that smile, more the devotee performs devotional service, Lord keeps smiling, and the Lord's smile encourages the devotee to perform even more devotional service. Prabhupada says devotees are enlivened and they are further satisfied, and thus there is continuous transcendental competition between the Lord and his devotees by such reciprocation of service and acknowledgement. Beautiful verse. So this is the glory of pure devotional service. So it is pure devotional service which is called as Ajita Jitopi. So the Ajita Supreme Lord is conquered by the performance of pure devotional service. Ajita Jitopi. Text 28. Just 1 second. Kadamba Kinjal Kapishangavasasa Swalankatam me Khalayani Tambe Harena Chananta Dhanena Vatsa Sri Vatsa Vakshasthalavallabhena. Translation?
Translation: O my dear Vidura, the Lord's waist was covered with yellow cloth resembling the saffron dust of the Kadamba flower, and it was encircled by a well-decorated belt. His chest was decorated with the Srivatsa marking and a necklace of unlimited value. Hare Krishna.
So previously we have seen the smiling face of the Lord, lips of the Lord, nose of the Lord, and the eyebrows of the Lord, right? Later in the 11th canto we will come that there is a very systematic way to take darshan of the Lord, right? And the darshan has to be taken avayava, facing on the different the limbs of the personality of Godhead. So while the face, lips, nose, and eyebrows are discussed in previous verse, this verse is describing cloth, vest, chest, and the beautiful belt the Lord is wearing. Kadamba Kinjalka. The Lord's waist is decorated with the yellow cloth resembling the saffron dust of Kadamba flower. So again, Kadamba reference is there. And this Lord that he's seeing is the Lord of Vrindavan, Sri Krishna. Encircled by the well-decorated belt, his chest was decorated with the Srivatsa marking and the necklace of unlimited value. Text 29. Parardhyakeyoramani praveka paryastadordanda sahasrashakam avyaktamulam bhuvanangrindram ahindra bhogair adhivitavalsham. Translation?
As a sandalwood tree is decorated with fragrant flowers and branches, the Lord's body was decorated with valuable jewels and pearls. He was the self-situated tree, the lord of all others in the universe. And as the sandalwood tree is covered with many snakes, so the Lord's body was also covered by the hoods of Ananta. Purport. The word avyakta mulam is significant here. Generally, no one can see the roots of a tree, but as far as the Lord is concerned, He is the root of Himself because there is no other separate cause of His standing but He Himself. In the Vedas, it is said that the Lord is Swarasya Rasya. He is His own support, and there is no other support for Him. Therefore, Avyakta means the Supreme Lord Himself.
Yeah. So now here, the Lord's beauty is compared to the beautiful sandalwood tree. Right. Next verse, the Lord's beauty will be compared to the beautiful mountain. So this is different. This is how Brahmaji is receiving darshan of the Lord. As the sandalwood tree is decorated with the fragrant flowers and branches, Lord's body was decorated with the valuable jewels and the pearls. He was self-situated tree, the Lord of the others. And just like the sandalwood tree, there will be many snakes around. So here was the Ananta, who is many hoods around. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, the Lord here is called as Avyakta Moolam. Avyakta Moolam means one cannot see the root of a tree, right? Unless it is a banyan tree, one will not see the roots of the tree. But the contradiction is that the root of everything, that is the Supreme Lord, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo, is here in front of Brahmaji, and he is able to see. So Brahmaji is seeing, actually one cannot see the root of the tree, but now I am seeing the root of the entire cosmic manifestation, the Avyakta Moolam. The Lord is called as Swashrayashraya. Swashrayashraya means there is no other separate cause to the Supreme Lord. He is Sarvakarana Karanam. He is the full stop. Sometimes people ask, oh, his father is his father is his. And then whose father? Who is Lord's father? No, Lord has no father. From him, everything originates. Right? From him, therefore, is called as Swashrayashraya. He himself is Ashraya of himself. He doesn't depend on anybody. He is Swarat. And there is no other cause for his standing. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is Avyakta, means the Supreme Lord, and there is no one else beyond him. So this is how Brahmaji is seeing the personality of Godhead. Text 30. Characharauko Bhagavan Mahindram Mahindra Bandhum Salilopagudham Kirita Sahastra Hiranya Shrungam Avirbhavat Kaustuparatna Garbham. Translation.
Like a great mountain, the Lord stands as the abode for all moving and non-moving living entities. He is the friend of the snakes because Lord Ananta is his friend. As a mountain has thousands of golden peaks, so the Lord was seen with the thousands of golden helmets, hoods of Ananta-Naga. And as a mountain is sometimes filled with jewel, so also his transcendental body was fully decorated with valuable jewels. As a mountain is sometimes submerged in the ocean water, so the Lord is sometimes submerged in the water of devastation. Hare Krishna.
So here the personality, the Lord's body is compared to the mountain. Chara, Achara. Chara means the moving animals. Achara means the non-moving trees. Okaha, the place or situation. Bhagavataha, the personality of Godhead. Ahindra. Ahindra here is Anantadev. Like a great mountain, the Lord stands as the abode of all moving and non-moving living entities. Chara, Achara is Ashraya for all of them. Chara and Achara. He is the friend of the snakes, Mahindra Bandhum, because Lord Ananta is his friend. The mountain has the thousands of the golden peaks, and the Lord was seen with the 1,000-headed Anantanaga, and he was decorated with the helmet. Anantanaga's 1,000 hoods were decorated with helmets and the jewels on this beautiful helmet. And just like the mountain at times is submerged in the water, the Lord, the personality, was at times submerged in the waters of devastation, which was originated from his own self. So this is beautiful description of the Lord as the mountain. Now, after seeing all this, Lord Brahma, he concludes that he is the object of meditation and he is the personality, he is Lord Hari. Text 31. Nivitamamnaya madhuvrata shriya swakirtimaya vanamalayam harim surya induvayo ragnigamam tridhamabhi parikramat pradhanikaik durasadam. Translation.
Lord Brahma, thus looking upon the Lord in the shape of a mountain, concluded that he was Hari, the personality of Godhead. He saw that the garland of flowers on his chest glorified him with Vedic wisdom in sweet songs and looked very beautiful. He was protected by the Sudarshana wheel for fighting, and even the sun, moon, air, fire, etc. could not have access to him.
Yeah. Now we could see Lord Brahma, thus looking upon the Lord in the shape of a mountain, concluded that he is the Supreme Lord Hari, Vanamalaya Harim, Swakirtimaya. Now there is a beautiful description here. What is the garland? He saw the garland of flowers on the chest, glorified him with the Vedic wisdom in sweet songs and looked very beautiful. Look at this. The garland of the Lord is singing Lord's glories, right? This is the garland of the Lord. And the Sudarshan is ready to give him protection, although he is the supreme personality of Godhead, protector of all. And the great demigods or the great elements like sun, moon, air, fire, they also had no access to the Supreme Lord. Text 32. Now here in the text 32, Lord Brahma could see the 5 factors there. Tarhyaiva tanna visarasarojam atmanamambas shvasanam viyaccha dadarsha devo jagato vidhata nata param loka visarga drishtihi. Translation.
When Lord Brahma, the maker of the universal destination, thus saw the Lord, he simultaneously glanced over creation. Lord Brahma saw the lake in Lord Viṣṇu's navel and the lotus flower as well as the devastating water. The drying air and the sky all became visible to him. Thank you, Prabhu.
So Brahmaji, along with having the darshan of the Lord, he also saw the other 5 factors. The lotus in the navel, he saw himself, devastating water, air, and ether. And this is how Brahmaji. So the realization of the Lord is not the alone realization. Mayam jayat samashrayam. Here we see Vedavyas. Vedavyas also seeing the Supreme Lord along with Maya. So here, Lord, he saw, here Brahmaji saw Lord along with other factors existing. So what this means is, that means there is no oneness at any level in the sense that everything is merged into one, or the Lord's form is Maya. That is being defeated by this observation of Brahmaji. Text 33. Sakarma bijam rajasoparakta praja sisrukshan iyate vadrishtva astaut visarga bhimukad idyam avyaktavartmani abhiveshitatma. Translation.
Lord Brahma, thus being subcharged with the mode of passion, became inclined to create, and after seeing the 5 causes of creation indicated by the personality of Godhead, he began to offer his respectful prayers on the path of the creative mentality. Purport: even if one is in the material mode of passion, to create something in the world, he has to take shelter of the Supreme for the necessary energy. That is the path of the successful termination of any attempt. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the third canto, 8th chapter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled Manifestation of Brahma from Garbhodakaśāyī Viṣṇu. Hare Krishna.
Lord Brahma now surcharged with the mode of passion. Why mode of passion? Because he has to create. He has to facilitate creation of so many things. He has to create the bodies of the living entities, facilities for them. He has to create the Manus, Prajapatis, because he has a huge task of creation. Surcharged with the mode of passion, became inclined to create. He realized this creation is great service to the Supreme Personality, who is acknowledging him for his service. He began to offer respectful prayers on the path of creative mentality. So Brahma's prayers for creative energy, that is the next chapter, right? So the offering of the prayers, there is a particular mood within that offering of the prayer. And here the Brahma's prayers for creative energy. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that even if one is in the material mode of passion to create something, one should take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore, typically, we say that even when somebody is going ahead with Garbhodana Samskar, what is Garbhodana Samskar? It is, before that one has to take shelter of the Supreme Lord by chanting extra rounds, by meditating on the Supreme Lord. And, because the creative potency, Prabhupada says, then one has to take shelter of the Supreme, even if one is conducting in the mode of passion to create something. So one is, say, establishing a company, expanding a company. He has to take the shelter of the Supreme more intensely to perform any act of creation so that the creation will not bind him. Right. Here, what to speak of Brahmaji, who is going to have a tremendous creation upcoming. And therefore, he saw the beautiful darshan of the Lord. And now he's beginning to offer prayers for creative energy. So one has to see there is a mood of the prayer, right? So here there is a prayer of creative energy. These are different than other prayers like Prahlad Maharaj offering his prayers or the other prayers, right? So this is how we conclude the third canto, 8th chapter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled Manifestation of Brahma from Garbhodakaśāyī Viṣṇu. So is there any question, comment? We are most welcome. Otherwise, we'll see the sections of next chapter, chapter 9. Any question, any comments? So next we move on to chapter 9, Brahma's prayers for creative energy. So this chapter has 43 verses and there are 5 sections of this chapter. I'm picking up everything of this from Bhagavatam Subodhini, written by His Grace Gaurang Darshan Prabhu. Okay, he has a very beautiful series. He has very briefly spoken about this Bhagavat Subodhini in his Bhakti Vaibhav classes. Also, he has a very beautiful series of this called as Bhagavat Pravaha on his channel on YouTube as well. Okay, so these sections are picked up from the work of His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. He is the Dean of Academics at GEV, correct? This is Govardhaniko village. Very, very fitting personality and has done tremendous job there. So there are 5 sections of this chapter. The section 1 is text 1 to 5, Lord's supreme form. Okay, so this is the text 1 within the prayers, because the text will begin with Brahma Vacha. Then the section 2 is text 6 to 10, predicament of the conditioned soul. Text 11 to 13, Lord's reciprocation with various devotees. Text 14 to 28, obeisances unto the Supreme Lord. So they will be offering obeisances unto the Supreme Lord by glorifying the Supreme Lord in very different ways. And text 29 to 43, Supreme Lord's reply, Sri Bhagavan Vacha, to the prayers of Brahmaji. So this is also, at times the Lord will reply only by accepting the prayers, where we see in the 10th, later in the 10th canto, when Brahma Vimohan Leela, Lord Brahma offered beautiful prayers and Lord did not speak anything. He just nodded his head, Balakrishna, and Brahmaji realized the prayers are accepted, nothing is in reciprocation, and he just left. But here in this case, almost 14, 15 shlokas the Lord is going to speak. Lord's reply to Lord Brahma. Brahma's prayers. Okay. So we will conclude here and we will continue tomorrow. We have a couple of minutes. If there is any discussion, you are most welcome, because this goes to our YouTube feed. What happens is that we need to start a new chapter on a new day. Okay. So we'll conclude here.
Hare Krishna,
Srila
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, this still Asukadas. Prabhu, so these all inquiries part of Vidura's to Maitreya only, right? All these questions which are the whole
This is
discussion.
original one question, and that original one question will give rise to many questions. Okay. So just like you say that what did Arjuna discussed with Lord Krishna, and then somebody narrates Bhagavad Gita to you, right?
Yes, Prabhu. Okay.
So this is how this original discussion was being asked, and these questions, and Maitreya Muni says, yeah, the same questions were asked by Lord Brahma, and this is how the creation took place, and that's why he is continuing with the same thing. Later we will see that how the answers to explanation of pure devotional service, those
Only thing is
then
this
again the
discussion.
separate, the sections of Bhagavatam will be quoted by Maitreya Muni.
Okay, Prabhu.
Right.
So if you want to read the Brahma's prayers, Prabhuji, so what is the right part? Like, is it, there are some prayers like Chatishloki at the end of second canto, and like now we have Brahma's prayers also coming in the chapter 9. So if you want to read those prayers, for example, like Prahlad Maharaj's prayers are there in 7th canto. So like Kunti Maharaj prayers in 1st canto. So similarly, if you want to read Brahma's prayers, for example, so should we read multiple sections of 2nd canto and 3rd canto, or is it only 2nd canto where he offers Chatishloki?
Brahma's prayers, there are, again, when you go to the literature of the Acharyas, they give the gradations of the prayers as well. Because which prayer is sung in which mood. And of course, all prayers are transcendental. Nothing is material in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, in that sense that it's simply part of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, means it's spiritual. At the same time, there is a mood of offering particular prayer. So in the topmost prayers are considered within the 10th canto, where the gopis are offering prayers, because the mood itself is a very different mood there. Within the first 9 cantos, Gopi Geetam, and so even other prayers, Akrura's prayers. Okay. So because that is the mood of Vrindavan is, on a different realm altogether. Okay. Now, first 9 cantos, again, Acharyas have given the gradations of the prayers even within the 9th cantos. Within the first 9 cantos, the topmost prayers are considered as prayers of Vritrasur. And especially that Vritrasur Chatashloki. Aham hare tava padaikamula dasanudaso. That prayer, those 4 prayers of Vritrasur Chatashloki.
Is it 4th canto, Prabhu? Vritrasur?
No, Vritrasur will come in. Vritrasur will. I will give you exact number of the prayers. Okay, exact text. 4 texts I will send you.
Yes, Prabhu.
So that is considered as. So again, then there are prayers of Gajendra, very very powerful prayers. Prayers of Kunti Maharani, prayers of Bhishma, prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. So these are the prayers. And when we say prayers of Brahmaji, then as you aptly said, those are the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, and Brahma Samhita is considered as Brahmaji's topmost prayer.
Okay.
Right. So instead of course, you can, any verse in Bhagavatam is always purifying. But if we want to recite the prayers of Brahmaji, it is Brahma Samhita, which is like the sum total of all scriptures. We have seen Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recognizing Brahma Samhita as the sum total of all Vaishnava literature is Brahma Samhita.
Sum total of all Vaishnava literature.
From the Siddhanta perspective.
From Siddhanta perspective. Okay.
Yeah. Everything is covered over there. What is the position of Surya? What is the position of, the Purusha avatars? What is the position of Maya, Srishti, Ganapati? Everything is covered over there.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. That's true.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Vritrasura prayers are 6, 11, 27, Prabhu.
6, 11, 27. Correct.
24, 27. 24.
6, 11, 24 to 27. 24,
27.
25, 26, 27. Yes. Thank
Yes,
you,
Prabhu.
Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta
Jai.
Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.